Hey guys, Crystal and Shadow here, back with Medium, and this time it's method to his madness.
So, this was at least an interesting one, because throughout the episode I was pondering a few thousand different things. At first I thought, maybe, once it started to happening to her, I thought, maybe she's kind of possessed, or maybe, maybe she's possessed, or maybe he's trying to get her to do the crimes that he used to do, or something like that, but it turned out, no, it was just some other thing.
Yeah, she would have been strong enough to resist it to not actually kill anyone. He just wanted to show her what he liked to prove that one of them wasn't his work.
Yeah, and at first I thought, and then, at another point I thought, well, maybe it's another type of person who can possess people and act as another thing, but I figured, well, that might be a bit too close together with another episode. But yeah, and then when I started thinking about that, the fact that a guy who wants to possess people to make them do the murders, it made me think about that Treehouse of Horror episode. You know that Treehouse of Horror segment where, like, Snake dies, and then, like, Homer...
Oh, the hair?
Yeah, and then Homer starts doing his murders. I thought it was... I don't know why that came to my mind. But still, it was in... But then it turned out he was only possessing her to prove that he didn't do one of the specific murders.
Yeah.
I did manage to catch it, like, half a minute before the show blatantly tells us who does it, which is always fun. It's always fun when you figure out just slightly before the show shoves it in your face.
Yeah, because she's so convinced that the guy didn't do it, but then she's writing, "It was me," and then they're thinking, well, he's just telling us that he did it. But no, it was M.E.
Well, why didn't the guy put a dot? Why wouldn't he put a dot?
He did put capitals, M.E.
Fair point. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Someone clearly had to write "it was me" 1,000 times on that damn paper. I'm sure they photocopied it because it looked pretty too neat. But still, I enjoyed this one at least a bit more than some of the previous ones, which had been getting a bit repetitive. I liked it, because it focuses more on her rather than just being a generic... Because this time, at least at first, you don't realise there's another murder to solve. So at first, it starts off very quick because we solve it very quickly and you're thinking, I wonder where it's going to go now.
Yeah. So
at least you've got a bit more of a mystery. It's not just a generic, all right, find a guy who does a thing, the end. That gets done very quickly. And then I was like, all right, now we're finally going somewhere interesting. So at least that was a bit more interesting with the fact that he was kind of possessing her, but not directly.
Not completely.
Yeah. But it was interesting anyway. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. And also, most of the time, the dreams get sent to her from the victims.
There has been other times where she's been in somebody else's shoes, though.
But it's still not that often that the actual killer sends her the dreams.
True. And at least this time, plus this time, you can tell that the dreams are a lot more intentional because they're a lot less vague this time.
Yeah, she's seeing exactly what he did.
That being said, you could argue about one thing. Think about it this way. The very first dream, even before we caught and he was killed, was still very specific. As if it was being sent from him because she was in his shoes.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of an odd point because, one, he wasn't dead yet. Two, why would he want to send her dreams, which would inevitably...
No, maybe he was dead at that point. They just hadn't found him.
Oh, you're right, because they said it was 11:45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
that's why he did it. Maybe he killed himself purely because he couldn't bear, in his own twisted ways, he couldn't bear the fact that somebody had done what he done. I don't know. But yeah. But still, at least it was more interesting than what usually happens. So at least that's better.
Yeah, definitely. Although, the one little nitpick, because the episode is still pretty good, as we've learned from from Joe's father, people who are dead, they can see, like, everything. They can see possible futures and everything. So, instead of showing her all that stuff, why didn't he just show her a vision of the medical examiner tampering the evidence and just say, look, she did it.
Well, I don't know, maybe he's only been dead a short time. Maybe he hasn't figured out how to work out this magical way of appearing. He can only show things he knows. So he can't show the medical examiner, although how does he know the medical examiner did it?
That's true, he did write it was
How does he know the medical examiner did it?
I mean, she was the only one who had access to the stuff.
True, but anyone could figure that part out. To be that sure of it with no more evidence than we already have. I mean, sure, maybe he just figured it out faster, but he seemed pretty damn sure. It's not like he saw it happen. I don't know. Oh, well. But yeah.
Unless over time he did figure out how to see things, because he's
But then you
dead.
could also ask you, why doesn't he just appear like his father does? Why doesn't he just appear and say things? It's always odd, because, sometimes people do appear and say things, and then sometimes it's just a vague vision. It's always weird. If it's intentional, you'd think he could just do it the way he wants.
Maybe some ghosts are stronger than others. Maybe some can appear, some can't.
Or, hang on, have we ever seen a ghost of somebody who wasn't innocent? Because I might be wrong, we've seen ghosts, but they've always been of people who were innocent.
Oh, yeah. Joe's
The
dad.
that
That
kid,
little girl from the fire.
yeah, they've always been innocent. So maybe you don't get to, maybe there's some cosmic reason, like you can't become a ghost if you've been, let's say, sent to hell. We don't know if there's a hell, but if you've...
But if you're a murderer, you
don't-
can't be a ghost.
You can't be a ghost.
You don't deserve that.
Although you can inhabit people, as we've seen in a previous episode. So, I don't know, the rules don't always...
Oh, yeah, he's sort of a ghost, but not quite, because...
Because, that guy I'm referring to is still the ghost of the original murderer. But
yes,
that's a whole
but
different
the
episode.
other doctor from the episode, he didn't recognize a picture. He never saw him. He just heard a presence
That's what I
in his
said.
head.
You can't become a ghost, but you could apparently possess people.
Yeah.
Still, I'm going to give it a 7.5.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
What's the next episode called?
Doctor's orders.
I have a gut feeling I know what next episode is.
And I'm pretty sure you're right.
Let's hope I'm right, because that's one I've been waiting for. I was like, no matter how boring some of them... That's the thing, whenever there's a handful of boring episodes, I always sit there going, come on, get good, because you think to yourself, come on, they can still come back from this, and this episode was alright. I have a good feeling. I'm hoping that... I don't want to hype myself too much, but I hope it's enjoyable. And then we'll have to see where the rest of the show goes, because
We'll see.
hopefully it doesn't get too boring and repetitive, as it had been for the past couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Anyway, I suppose that's it.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time for more Medium and other things as well.
See you next time, guys.